Before real estate, I spent 17 years at a legal tech startup. So part of what I did was I helped entrepreneurs start their business. And then somewhere the whole time in the back of my mind, I was like, it would be nice one day if I could be my own business owner. And that's actually how I ended up in my next chapter, which is real estate. I started real estate when I was 41, but I never saw myself capable of doing that. I can't code, I can't make an app. I couldn't do the things I saw other people doing to become an entrepreneur, starting a business. Should I really be doing this? I don't know if this is gonna work. And it's terrifying. Did I just trade in one rat race for another?
So Jack, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and what is your long game?
Sure. So my name is Jack Chang. I grew up in the SGV. Before real estate, I spent 17 years at a legal tech startup. It was a really, really good time in my life. When you work at a startup, my role was sales, but I wore a lot of hats. So I did sales, operations, marketing, finance, product, business development, whatever you need to do to get the thing done, right, and growing. So I spent 17 years there. It was funny, the first 2-3 years, it's any day now we go IPO, right? And then it didn't happen until 17 years later. And when we finally went, they gave me a nice package. I took it and I thought, I could take some time off and not have to worry about it. And that's actually how I ended up in my next career, my next chapter, which is real estate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So 17 years.
Yeah, 17 years.
So you started when you graduated?
A little bit after, yeah. And everything there's a really, really opportune timing. I think God's timing is very, very perfect in that. Right when I left, that's when Clarence and Jimmy were about to start this office. Clarence is actually my brother-in-law. So at the time he said, hey, what are you doing now? You just left. It's like, I don't know. So he said, why don't you get your license and come work? I'm gonna open up an office. I'm doing real estate. So I thought it was a really good opportunity. And I kind of already saw I followed his career. He actually helped me buy my own house, right? Kind of use family.
This was 3 years ago, right?
This was about 3.5, 4 years ago, yeah.
Okay, so let's backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
You started that startup business with your friends or partners, I assume, is it?
No, it was just the startup. The startup was really my first real job out of college.
Okay, so you didn't know them?
No.
They just painted a really good picture and they actually fulfilled it.
Yeah.
They did an IPO, it's not easy.
Yeah, it did. It's not easy, yeah.
So at that time, I think you mentioned about you did sales, marketing, operation, finance, basically everything. What were some challenging times that time?
Looking back, you don't see it as challenges, right? I think one thing there's a lot of things I really appreciate about my time there. I learned a lot about not just how to do things, because I was a young kid, didn't know anything, and then there's a lot to do, but really learning how a business works, how to make things work, how to grow, how to scale, how to work with people. And so when you work at the start, this is in 2005, actually, when I first started. So it was kind of the height of the dot-com boom. We literally, for the first few years, all of us, we rolled out of bed, we'd go into work with basketball shorts, board shorts, flip-flops. Like it was literally dot-com culture. It was very, 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 very loose. And then as the company grew, you saw more structure. But I think a lot of the initial challenges, we had the saying, we were trying to build a car while driving it.
Okay.
Right, we're driving it and and we're trying to make it bigger, turn the car into a bus, but you don't get to stop the vehicle, right? And then trying to make that into a jet, and you don't get to stop. So a lot of that time, I think is simultaneously the most frustrating thing, but the most exciting thing. You're trying to do this thing, figure it out, and you don't know if it's gonna work.
Did you have to put money into it, or you're?
No, I was just an employee.
Got it. Okay. But you were able to get a good package after.
Yeah, I was number 80. I was employee number 82.
How many employee total?
I mean, now it's
when you started.
When I started, I was 82.
Okay.
Number 82.
Okay. And right now, how many people?
Thousands.
Oh wow. Okay. So you're one of the OGs.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about, because you were an employee.
I was an employee. Yeah.
And then like 3 years ago, when you got that package, you're like, okay, I'm gonna chill for a little bit.
So that was actually about 5 years ago.
Okay, 5 years ago. And you were thinking about you're gonna chill forever or just for a little bit?
For a little bit.
Yeah. And then you were kind of exploring what you want to do next.
Yeah.
And that's where you got connected with Clarence and Jimmy, and they go, hey, you know what? Why don't you check it out?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about there, because you got into real estate, that just say 3 years ago. So you started when you're like 39, 40?
Real estate?
Yeah.
40.
40?
40.
Okay.
Let's say
So, because I talk to good amount of entrepreneurs, especially in real estate, right? And one of the thing that I heard a lot for people, let's say after they turn 40, a lot of the complaint that I heard, well, not complaint, or their self-limiting belief is like, oh, I'm already 40. I'm already 45. I'm behind. So did you have that mentality when you started?
A little, not. I don't think it manifested itself in that way. So I've really, my whole life, I've had like 2 jobs, right? Like that one job, the startup, I was there for a long time, and then and this one now. And I think back, both careers took me a kind of a while to settle into, right? What I mean, even the startup, it kind of found me, right? So I graduated college. I immediately after graduating, I actually want to go back and get my MBA. I want to get a degree, right? And I quickly learned a lot of graduate programs, MBA programs
Did you do
specifically. I eventually did, but
Oh, wow, okay.
But what I learned when I was fresh is a lot of MBA programs, they don't want you when you're young because you have no work experience,
Yeah.
right? So I spent a year after I graduated trying to get into MBA school. I couldn't get in. So at that point is, okay, I gotta get a job now because I got some bills to pay and I debt to pay back. So I started looking for a job, and I just took like the first one, and it happened to be this one. And even as I took it, I thought, you know what? I just need to pay my debts off, right? So I'll just do this. I'll figure something. I don't care if I like it or not.
Did you have a lot of debt?
A little bit.
How much?
I don't remember, dude. It's not that much. Just some student loans.
Oh, I see.
Less than 50.
Okay.
Less than not 30 to 50.
So
Right.
in a way, well, actually, what you just showed me kind of resonate, because when I graduated, I was kind of figuring out what to do too, and then studying for GMAT business schools in my mind too. And I got the book, and I was talking to my sister, who was 6 years older than me, already in the workforce. She goes, "You shouldn't study GMAT right now. You should go work for somebody first, and then once you work, you will know what you want to learn, and that way you'll study with." Like with more passion too, because you will understand that where it could really help me as far as what I wanted to learn. So
Yeah.
I resonate with that.
Yeah. So I had a lot of safety. I was living home with my parents, right? So it wasn't
I get it.
that bad, but still, it's the pressure of, okay, it's been a while since I graduated. I have to do something. And then that just, I go into it. I even thought, oh, I just do this for a little bit. I'll figure something else later. And then blink, it was 3 or 4 years later. And then blink, it was 10 years later. And then, so it's almost 2 decades.
Yeah. Well, going back kind of to like the name of this show, right? When you started it, when you got the opportunity, you mentioned that they kind of tell you that their goal is to get into IPO. So in a way, you kind of have your long-term vision on
Yeah.
It's gonna take a couple of years, but you stay with it.
Yeah.
Right. So now, getting into real estate, how was it like?
So I think it's kind of that parallel where it took me a while to fall into it, and kind of that next chapter before real estate. It wasn't so much that like you were asking, oh, I'm 40, I got a career change. It wasn't so much of that as I felt, logically you leave one thing. It's like, okay, well, as I'm looking for the next chapter, logically it makes sense. I should leverage my strengths, all of this experience I have, which is just on legal tech space, right? And so that was about 2021, 2022, coming out of the pandemic, where the tech sector just took a nosedive, right? And so that was just kind of like, okay, yeah, maybe this isn't going to work out because this industry is just decimated, right? And so I thought, hey, I did, not myself, right? A startup is everything you learn. Like, you don't get very far by yourself. It's a team. But I felt like I learned a lot. I also contributed a lot. And I've seen this happen, and it's something with the right things. I kind of know the levers to pull, but we can do this again. And it just wasn't happening. So it was more of, does it make sense to leave the space that I thought I was supposed to be in, right? Which is like, that career change. And I think where a lot of it kind of fell into place was you start seeing, again, I'm very, very thankful for my time in the startup space because you learn a lot of transferable skills. So real estate, just having known some people in it already, like Clarence, right? He really helped expand my my vision is, I wouldn't say my vision, my perspective, right? Real estate, it can be just buying and selling homes, but it can be so much more than that, right? There's a business, there's a whole ecosystem in real estate. And so there's a lot of opportunity to take what I learned and apply it and help build and scale a real estate business, right? My personal business, a group business.
It's kind of like the movie Conjuring. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh,
It sounds like a scary movie.
It is a scary movie. Scary movie. And just from that movie, there's so many different ghosts. You get different universe. Anyways, so okay, jumping into this business, you mentioned it took you a little time to get settled in, right? What were some of your fear?
I think it's something that it's funny, something that I experienced, that I lived that first half of my career at a start, like not knowing if it's gonna work, right? But I think that's simultaneously the exciting thing. Like you just, like, it's not hard to learn, but it's also not easy. But like, should I really be doing this, right? And it's learning it with, it's that uncertainty, right? But I think what I've come to, it's funny, even though you experience it and you learn it, you still, the feeling doesn't go away, right? It's still the, I don't know if this is gonna work. And it's terrifying, but at the same time, it's really exhilarating, especially as you start seeing things work and you start seeing like, oh, I think I'm gonna figure this out. I think I figured it out, right? And then it goes back to like, oh yeah, I don't have to figure it out, but I know that I'm not gonna drown.
It's like, you play blackjack?
I know of the game.
Okay, it's like 16. You have a 16 in your hand. You're like, oh, should I hit it? I should hit it. I think it's gonna work, but I don't know if it's gonna work. So, what were some of your darkest times as a realtor, running your own business?
I think it's exactly that, right? I think so. Real estate is really funny, and it's like a funny landing place to me, because so part of what I did at the startup was, for a big chunk of my time there, for like 10 years, I helped entrepreneurs start their business. So we helped them form their incorporation or LLC. So you helped a lot of people on that path to make their dreams come true. And then somewhere the whole time in the back of my mind, it's like, it would be nice one day if I could be my own business owner, right? But I think because I grew up in that era, that the tech boom, right? I never saw myself capable of doing that, because I don't code, I can't make an app, I'm not that creative, I can't come up with an event. Like, I couldn't do the things I saw other people doing to become an entrepreneur, starting a business. And then why I say it's funny is, as a realtor, like, we are entrepreneurs. At least we could choose to be if we want to, right? You could also treat it like a W-2 wage job if you want.
Sales only.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
But it was an opportunity to really fulfill that dream that I had. I think that's when you start that path for a good chunk of time, that's the darkest, I don't want to say darkest, it's the challenging time, because you really honestly don't know, is this gonna work?
Yeah. Can you put yourself into a specific moment? Like, you remember maybe where you're at, maybe a certain thing happened? Or, because for me, I've been in the industry for about almost 2 decades, right? There were multiple moments where I'm sitting at the office, I'm sitting in my car, I'm sitting at home looking at the computer, I'm doubting myself. I'm selling this amount of home, making this amount of money, I'm still so far away. I feel drained. I'm like, or sometimes maybe certain clients, something happened, certain agents, something happened. I started to doubt myself. Like, am I in the right career? And like, from there, something happened. Or maybe somebody show up in my life, or maybe I learned something new. Like, I understand something that you mentioned earlier. I feel like this is something entrepreneurs often feel. It's like you mentioned, oh, you don't know how to code, you don't know how to do this, you don't know how to do that. I feel like, obviously, you're good at what you do, right? But entrepreneurs, a lot of time, they kind of ignore what they do good, and they don't give themselves credit on the thing that they did good, and they look at other people, oh, they did this thing so good, they did that thing so good, they have such nice family, it's such a nice result on Instagram. But for you, has there been moments like that where you're like, like for me, I'll share something real quick. I remember there was one day, multiple days, I would lay down on my bed, scroll my Instagram, Facebook, I'll be that person just sold a home, that competitor just did this, just did that, I'm having a dry month. I will block them. So I don't see it. So I feel we're still friends, right? I just don't want to see it because I see that it's messing with my mindset, you know?
Yeah, I think so. A little bit of that, I can resonate with that. I don't think that bothered me as much just because of the group of people that I've been surrounded. I think very, very blessed to be surrounded with. And what kind of helped me take the leap of faith into real estate is what you guys call abundance mindset, right? I think it was actually one thing that you told me very early on. I heard from you one of my first times I met you is,
what did I say?
Look, you know, we're all realtors and you could make money. And just because you make money doesn't mean that I have to make less. And so there's no reason to like have to hate or feel bad. And we can celebrate each other's wins, even though, you know, we're separate businesses, right? And I think that's a very good encouragement space, not just for realtors, but for entrepreneurs and looking for opportunities, right? And this is something that I know we talk about like here, but in my old life, we talk about too, is, you know, what you focus on tends to grow. So it's kind of what you perceive, right? Going back to your question, I think for me, it's a little bit in that startup grind, right? And it's right when I kind of got past I think this will be okay. Like I'm gonna drown, but I think it'll be okay. But it was kind of a question of still, am I doing the right thing, right? Did I just trade in one rat race for another, right? And that's the thing. I think a lot of people glamorize being an entrepreneur, being your own business. Like, yeah, you set your own hours. Great. But what a lot of people don't tell you, or some people tell you, but they don't really highlight is, guess what? You know, for that first year, you could work 10 hours a week if you want. You might not get paid, right? I mean, the reality is, yes, you're going to be working weekends. You're going to work probably the holidays, right? You're gonna work a lot more, right?
On vacations.
You're working on vacation. You'll be working in Asia by 3 a.m. calls because clients here still have questions, right? And it's just, which is not uncommon to me, right? Because like I did all that anyways when I was working for someone else, but now I'm working for myself, right? And it's not the work I was afraid of, but it's did I just trade one grind for a different grind that is going to yield the same long-term outcome?
Okay. So now, after 3 years-ish in this business, at this office, because you're one of the founding OGs here for our Alhambra office, and currently you guys have like what, 110 agents, ballpark?
Yeah, ballpark.
And what are some of the things that you guys are working on, like building?
I think it's that we're built, right? And I think anytime you start something new, there's phased approaches, right? Like it's we call it in the startup world, we call it crawl, walk, run, right? Like you need some time to just learn the industry, learn the bearings, and then get good, understand and get competent at the fundamentals, right? And then you can move beyond to we're treading water, like we will survive, and then you can focus on, okay, we don't want to just stay here. How do we build? How do we expand? How do we keep, right? And I think the really, really special thing about this space, a lot of it's coming from your influence. It's how do we help others and build together, right? And then it's like, this is the community that we have. It's just going back to what you said, right? Like just because you close more deals, just because you make more money doesn't mean I have to make less, right? There's ways, there's so much room, especially in real estate, to grow the pie instead of fighting for the same
pie. Yeah, there's enough pie for everybody. That's something that I really believe in. There's a term called, maybe you can help me out with it, rising tide, something all boats.
A rising tide raises all boats.
Something like that.
And we used to say the cream rises to the top, you know.
Now, Jack, tell me something that didn't really work out in these 3 years.
So one of the things that I have to remind myself to keep challenging myself is I think too small. I think too small.
Okay.
Right? And it's something I know about myself, especially when I came into this career. So I started real estate when I was 41. And one of my goals is like, I want to retire by the time I'm 50. So it's like 9 years, right? And then everyone has different view of what retirement means. But for me, it means that I don't have to work for money. It doesn't mean I'm not going to work, but it's
Having the option.
having the option. And specifically as I want to be able to replace my active income with passive income sources, right?
Okay.
And so initially that plan looked like, okay, well, with real estate, that means maybe I pick up an investment property every other year, right? And then if I get this number in 9 years, then yes, that's the rental income. Like that. Okay, yeah. So I'm 4 years in, about to hit 4 years in, and I haven't picked up that first investment property as a realtor.
I get
Right?
it. Yeah.
But some of that is kind of a reflection on it's just thinking too small, or rather, I thought, before I started, the only way to create passive income has to be rental property, right?
Yeah.
And I think a couple years in, it's just there's a lot of money there's a lot of opportunity to make money. Like money is right, and I think I might have a different. I don't necessarily have the same view of money that a lot of people in the industry do, right? And that I don't think I need to become. I'm okay if I'm not a millionaire. Like there's a certain amount that my family and I need, right? To us, it's always been not about chasing that, right? I was fortunate in actually both sides of the career, right? To be around very, very wealthy people that are very, very successful, right? And even with entrepreneurs, like there was a season in my life where I did B2B sales. I traveled a lot. I was on airplanes a lot. And we're chasing the company's paying for it. You're flying, you get status, you get a credit card points. For like 5 years, I didn't have to pay for my own Asia ticket because it's my personal vacation, right? Because the points don't cover all myself, my family. And we would joke with our coworkers, like, who has the highest status?
Points.
Who has the highest status, right?
Yeah.
And then I met a lot of CEOs, VPs, and then one of them said to me, he hadn't been flying for a while, so he had to sit in economy because he lost his status. And he actually shared, this is actually the best seat on the plane. Like, really? Like, you in the back? You probably in your 50s, 60s, your body is not the same as mine. And he's like, no, this means that when I sit in the back, it means that I'm not taking all these business trips. I'm home with my family. I'm home with my kids. I get to spend time with them. Right? That's why that's the best seat, because I'm not doing this all the time. And so that kind of gave me early on that perspective, especially as I started having my own family and having kids and raising kids. Like, you want to be around. Money's great. It does a lot of things, but there's some things that it can't do. And so it's how do I make it enough, right? But also, how do I be around and be there and be present for the things that are really, really important, that are eternal.
I totally can resonate again with what you said. In my 20s, I'm like, I want to be a billionaire. And then later on, as I learning life, I went through Tony Robbins' Wealth Mastery. They help you calculate like what kind of lifestyle you want to live. Where is your financial freedom point, absolute financial freedom point? And then I remember there were like 50, 60 students. We were in Fiji. And after we calculate the lifestyle that we wanted, most of the people, we don't even need, let's say, 10 to 20 mils. I know 10 to 20 mils still a lot. So I'm talking about lifelong income, not just like 1 year, And we have kids now. And something that I reminded myself as well is, like, I think, how old are your kids?
They're 8 and 11, but they're about to level up in like less than a month.
Oh, okay.
They're gonna be 9 and 12.
Yeah. So I learned, happy birthday to them. And I learned that after they turn 18, they're gonna be doing their own thing. So it's the time that we have with them. Like,
it starts a little earlier than that,
I heard. Yeah, like 18, like physically they won't be here.
Yeah.
Like, I think 13 or so mentally they won't be here, kind of thing. So I definitely can resonate with you. Like when you said we want to spend more time with family, and then making the money that we want to make, and maybe a little bit more, so we have more options to work on our work. And I also know currently you have how many agents that you're training, coaching, mentoring?
About 10. Yeah, 10.
Yeah, because I know, was it last year or this year?
We started it last July. So actually, yeah, we started last July with about 5, class of 5, and so we added some decided it's not for them, which is okay.
Yeah.
Right. But we're about 10, 11 right now.
Okay. And I think it was toward the end of last year, I believe. Remind me if I'm wrong. Because we opened up an office in San Marino. And then you were like, hey, you want to grow with us together.
Yeah.
And starting from there, it's only been like 6 months, some around 6 months. How many agents are actually under you right now?
Now I think I've got about 8.
8?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's a big growth.
I think 6 of them came in the last 4 months.
Yeah. And amazing. It's only been because you kind of technically just started this path just a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And for me, when I first decided that I wanted to attract agents, and first year I attracted like 6 to 8 agents too. A couple of them left too. Yeah. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And definitely see that you're on the right path, right? Like what you have been to contribute in not only your clients' life, but also in the office, collaborating, working with you, Clarence, Jimmy, Karen. I'm not gonna name everybody. You guys can up it below.
You'll be shy.
Yeah, you'll be tagged. You'll see. So yeah, we definitely want to acknowledge your hard work and being a big part of this community, this family, right? So let's talk about the culture that you guys have at this office. Like, how's it like? What are some of the things look like throughout the year? What are some of the things that you guys do?
Some of the things, I mean, I think our culture is it's hard to describe. It's hard to describe in that to get the full effect, right? I think we say a lot of words, and at the end of the day, I think we invite people to come and just feel it for themselves. If I had to distill it into a few words, I think I would really just use the word collaborative. Right? I think the very unique. And this is what I've heard because this is the only brokerage I've been a part of. But they say in real estate, it kind of feels like a startup, which is funny. Yeah. But it's different. There's no boss, right? With the same 2 people we ask, like we don't have something, and we have the person we ask when there's no toilet paper or coffee faucet, right? But there's no sense of like, oh my God, someone. People are who they are. They come in free to be themselves, sometimes good, sometimes bad, but they stay that way no matter who comes in. And beyond just the surface, everybody's accepting. It's that space of, hey, this is a free and safe space to make it as you will. And I think it works wonderfully because it's also self-policing. Like when you are part of something like that and you hadn't been before, and even for me, I have been before. Like, I was with one company for a long time, but the company changes, right? And so there were periods where culture was very, very good. It was periods where culture was very toxic. When you find that kind of sweet spot in culture and you recognize it, you appreciate it, you also work to protect it. Yeah. Right? And so it's not symbiotic, but there's times where you are able to give and you pour into it. And then there's times where you need help and being okay to receive, right? It's not always it's a lot like marriage, right? It's not 50-50.
Yeah.
It's this is who we have in marriage. You have 2 people. I have a great spouse partner that's carried me parts of life, right? Whereas
I'll edit this part out to send it to her.
oh yeah, it's not 50-50. It's sometimes it's 90-10.
Yeah.
And I know that sometimes you're doing the 90, sometimes she's. But that's a very, very similar feel to the office, our culture. It's, hey, we've benefited, and that's why we want to contribute, right? But we want to pay it forward, and it's not just, oh, we're gonna pay each other back, me and you. I love you too, but like if we just keep it here, it's a closed loop. Yeah, growth doesn't happen that way. But it's looking for ways to push it out, put those forward, right? Because the blessings, it'd be a big shame if the blessing stopped with me.
It's like paying it forward. How do we impacting the I don't want to say next generation because some of them are older than us. But the next generations of realtors, like people who got into the real estate business, or just not necessarily entirely realtors, because I would say real estate professionals or just entrepreneurs. Because a lot of time, like us, our clients, a lot of them do business too. And for us, it's about connecting them with people who can actually help them with their business too. I feel like that's quite meaningful. And you guys have definitely built a great culture. I've been talking to people, they go, oh, yeah,
You're a big part of that too.
oh, thank you. Thank you. You guys did most of the work. I just show up and talk. Just kidding. But I can see how you guys built it together. And it's something that's just really organic and something that's very, very valuable. So I want to thank you for being a part of this community and contributing and getting people together, passing on what you know. And I mean, I've heard a lot of great things about you guys' training coaching program. And so if you're interested in knowing more about it, especially if you're in the real estate business and you want to learn more, you want to know more, we do a lot of events. So feel free to come check it out. So that being said, I want to say thank you for watching today's episode. And let me ask you one last question for the audience. If you and I were to die tomorrow, I'm copying from the school Hard Knock. If you and I were to die tomorrow, what is that one piece of advice for people who's about to get into this industry?
Oh, we dead. We're not dead.
That's true. That's somebody else's.
A little Clarence and
Hold up. Delegate.
Yeah. I think my advice is, I think it's, I thought for the longest time it was uniquely me, but I guess as I've gone on with age and learned it's not. I never found my career, right? Like, and I grew up, a lot of people, I'm gonna be a doctor, I'm gonna do this. I never found that career that gave me my identity. So to me, like, work is just a work thing, right? And what I really found that I cherish, that I look for now, that I look for, like, when I make decisions, it's, we say culture, it's culture, but what is culture? I mean, culture is the people, right? I think it's find a good tribe, right? Whether it's this, whether it's any other business, whether it's like you find a good community, right? I have a very, very blessed and fortunate. I have a couple of good pieces of community tribes around me, my family, my church, my business. And that's really what has carried me through a lot of my dark times of life, right? When you struggle. And I think for me, I don't know about other people, but for me, like, the darkest times is when you lose sight of who you are, right? When you start not knowing who you are, and especially when you've accomplished, I think it's worse. It's harder when you get older because when you're young, you're like, I'm done anything. So whatever. But when you're in your 40s, like, I've at least made it to 40, right? I've done stuff. But then when even at that point, your confidence, your identity gets shook, it's even, I think, more devastating. But having that community around you remind you and help see things and point out things that you can't see yourself. Right. That's really helped me kind of stay afloat and beyond afloat, like that.
I do agree with that, because something that we share with the group is that when you feel down, reach out to people that can help you out. And when you're up, when things are going well, then reach down and help other people. And again, you guys did an amazing job with the community. I want to thank you for today's interview. And if you like what we talk about in this channel, please hit the subscribe button and share it with your friends. And we will see you in the next episode. Thank you, Jack. Appreciate it.